putting this rub rail on here. The rub rail stuff, and I'm not talking about this, that's pretty flexible, and that stuff up there which glues on is pretty flexible, but this here, that's not flexible right there. That is it's like y'all ever worked with a piece of black plastic pipe that people put underground and run water through? Well, it has that kind of rigidity. And a plumber friend of mine used to say it has memory, meaning that when you bought it, it was all rolled up and it was really hard to get it to unroll because it remembered being rolled up and it wanted to stay rolled up, if that makes any sense. But after I straightened this out as much as I could, Bill came over and he walked out yonder way with one end of it and I came back here with the other end, and we started off putting this on here and realized that the way it looked like it should have fit, it didn't fit. And what I mean by that is one side of this has a lip. Now it looked like that lip should be on the bottom because that roll of plastic rubber stuff would fit on top and it would cover up a lot of the marks from where the old one came off. Well, when we tried to put it upside down, the way the holes go through here is closer to the bottom than it is to the top. So when we shot the hole through, it drove the rivet into this little lip under here and just cracked that. So that didn't work. So we wound up having to flip it over, leave that off, put it on with the lip on this stuff on the top. And then we fought with it, and the best way I can think of to describe it is that it'd be like pushing a really long snake into a water hose tail first. But you can imagine how that would work. Well, that's about how this worked. But we wrestled with it fervently, me and Bill, and we got it on there. And then after we got it on there, this rubber piece right here, it actually went on pretty easy. And I found some perfections. Y'all might remember I rebuilt this part up here. Well, I should have left more lip under here because you can see there's a place where you can't see the lip under there. And also right up here there's a crack. There's a place where it should have been more rounded and it wasn't. So, you know, there's a lot of things I did on this. This is my first time ever trying to restore these. A lot of things I did where I can look back and say, oh, I should have done it this way or I should have done it that way. But all in all, and at some point I'm going to add up how much I spent on paint and filler and sealer and this rail and the things like that. But at some point I'll be able to tell you what I spent to bring this thing back to life. But for my purposes, I am delighted with this boat. I'm literally to the point, well, the only thing I need to do left is they make some little chrome plated pieces that'll go over this and screw in here to cap that off and make it look nice. And I have to order them, and my computer's in the shop because they're putting a new battery in it, so I can't really order anything right now. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these off here and over here and just kind of cut them off even with the back of the boat for now. And then when I get that, I'll put those on. But then I'm going to put my motor on here, that little 6 horsepower that's in there. And then I'm going to pull this thing over to the dock and put it in the water, and we're going to ride around a little bit. Now, this Suzuki motor I got, let me explain this too. I have run it for a total of about 5 hours, and you're supposed to run it the first 10 hours without revving it up any faster than half throttle. So I need to run it for another 5 hours or so at half throttle before I can even open it up and see how fast it'll go. But I figure once I get the boat in the water, I can just ride around and, you know, ride around and just ride around, you know. That'd be a lot of fun. So kind of looking forward to that. I was going to talk about this. Putting those rivets in, and this thing came with some really big rivets. These are probably pop rivets. These are probably the biggest pop rivets I've ever seen. And trying to put them in with this was an ordeal, and we decided we just couldn't handle it because it would take so much just to try to get it to go in there. So I started looking for a machine to do that with, because some of y'all had told me there was such a thing. Well, I couldn't find anything nearby. You know, Home Depot and all the hardware stores and all the tool shops, none of them had a pop rivet gun. But I did find this one on Harbor Freight's news magazine. And this particular one had been, according to them, it had been discontinued. And they didn't make them anymore. And they had it in the catalog for $29 on sale, marked down from $99. But it said in the catalog it was not available in stock. Now they had a bunch of others that went from like $69 to $99 to $129. So I drove over there all the way up in Anderson, South Carolina, about an hour from here. But when I got in there, they only had one, even though they said they didn't have this in the store, but they had all these others. Well, they didn't have any of them others. And all they had in the store was this one. And it was in a box that was open. And I asked the lady, I said, you know, this box is open and I don't know if it's missing any pieces or parts, but I just want you to take note in case I get home and something ain't there. So I bought that and paid less for it than I was thinking I'd have to pay. And got it home and didn't have any instructions, and I had to, this piece came with it and I had to put it on, and then this piece catches your rivets, and none of that was really very well explained in the instructions. But it worked. You put this thing on there and put a rivet in here. You pull that trigger 3 times. First time it goes in, second time it breaks off, the third time it pulls the leftover part of the rivet back and spits it down into here. That thing worked like a charm. So with that thing, me and Bill went around that boat in about 35 minutes. Whereas we'd spent hours on it before just trying to get it in some kind of workable place. So, like I said, obviously I need to clean up my tools, and I need to organize. I've got a bunch of different tools thrown in this box. This is normally my little pop rivet box, and I want to put everything that goes with that, because this thing came with springs and washers and O-rings and all kind of stuff, as if they'd sent you enough stuff to rebuild it with. And I was thinking, boy, I hope I don't ever have to rebuild it, because that looks like something I wouldn't want to have to tackle. But they sent it all, so I want to put it all in a special box. I might put it right back in the box it came in. Make sure I keep all the parts of it, you know, with it. And then put all my pop rivets back in the box, and then put all my drill bits and drills and all of that stuff, and clamps and everything away, and screwdrivers and such. And then once I get that done, and I'm working at a slow pace because I'm not wanting to rush this. I'm enjoying it too much to get to going so fast that I make a mess. See, this is the rubber piece I wound up not using. I was thinking that this should go up on top because it fit on there so nice, but no. So anyway, so that's where we're at today. I'm gonna cut the camera off. I'm gonna clean up my tools. I'll hook this up to the truck. I'll put the motor on it. We'll look it all over and think about it. Once I'm decided that it's all good, we'll take her over to the lake. We'll ride around a little bit. That'll be awesome. All right, appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. I was just online watching Whalen Wire, and I couldn't comment because I don't have my computer. It's in the shop. I'm hoping they're going to call me any minute now so I can go up there and get my computer back. But he was doing stuff, and it was really interesting. It was several. You know, I got kind of a sort of attention span, and when he makes a video, a lot of times he'll be doing 2 or 3 different things in different segments, and I tend to want to comment on all of them. So I'll make a comment, and I'll watch some more, and I'll make another comment. I was cleaning the tomatoes and getting them ready to freeze this morning. I went over to Larry's and helped him a little bit this morning. He gave me a big bag full of homegrown tomatoes. And I was listening to Whalen Wire, and I kept reaching over to make a comment, and I couldn't. So, Whalen Wire, if you watch this, I was thinking about you. I was watching your video. I was commenting in my head. If I can still remember what I wanted to say when I get my computer back, I'll comment in real life so you can see it. And otherwise, just know that I ain't forgot you. I still think about you all the time, and I think you're okay. I don't care. I don't care what One Lonely Farmer says or George shade tree fix it man. I don't care what they say. I still like it. I'm just gonna say that. Okay. Okay. See you later. Love y'all. You know, which button do I push to turn this thing off? You'd think I'd remember. It's a simple thing. I do that all.